Welcome back, everyone. Two senior advisors in the president's campaign yesterday had trouble giving a direct answer to this question. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
But yes or no, are Americans better off today than they were 4 years ago?
Listen, George, they did a good job of reciting all the statistics everyone's familiar with.
So it sounds like, a year ago the president told me, I don't think Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago. You still can't say yes.
Well, we've clearly improved, George, from the depths of the recession.
David, can you honestly say that the average American is better off today than they were 4 years ago?
Here's what I can say, Chris. I can say that we're in a better position than we were 4 years ago in our economy.
So the question still remains, are average Americans better off than they were 4 years ago? Joining me now is the mayor of Minneapolis and a supporter of the president, R.T. Rybak, who will be speaking at the DNC tomorrow. Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Good to be here with a fellow Minnesotan.
Yes, exactly. All right, I'm going to have to pose the exact same question to you. You've had a little bit more time to prepare for it, but are Americans better off today than they were 4 years ago when the president took office?
Yes, they are.
In what way?
We're losing 850,000 jobs a month, and we're on the brink of losing the American auto industry. We had two wars. Bin Laden was at large, and enormous other challenges faced the president as he walked in. Day one, they said to this president, Mr. President, the economy is about to collapse. Mr. President, the core of our manufacturing auto industry is about to collapse. He got to work. First thing he did was he said to women, you deserve equal work, equal pay for equal work. I was raised by a woman, single woman, and that means a lot. College students, what he did was said, you have huge debts, and what we really want to do is take the middleman out. Put billions more into college loans. For middle-class Americans, what he really did is he said, part of the reason this economy collapsed is because people were gaming the system. He created a consumer protection area within the government that actually stood up for people, so we ideally wouldn't have this thing happen again. Well, see, and of course, he saved the auto industry.
It's interesting because you actually just gave a better answer than his own advisors. Whether or not people agree with you is a different point of view.
Okay.
But do the president's people come to you and say, here are the talking points? When you get asked the question, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? Here's what you should focus on.
Well, I'm the lowly mayor of Minneapolis, so I'm not running this whole thing. But the good news is I'm also a mayor. And so mayors around America have really been on the front line. So, what I can say to a neighborhood where people have challenges with public safety, and we really have challenges, we were able to put more police on the street because of the president. We were able to put more firefighters on. We put teachers in the classroom. We looked at students who weren't doing a good job of learning and really got into the idea of reforming education. And a mayor in America is on the ground, and you see this, and mayors across America have seen that all the time. Big cities and small cities.
All right, so you're still a staunch supporter, but I want to throw
I'm definitely a staunch supporter.
I want to throw these numbers out to you because these are the numbers that the American people are looking at and saying, So unemployment then was 7.8%, now 8.3%, so worse. Median income was almost $55,000. Now it's close to $51,000. Gas was $1.85, now it's $3.78, and the national debt was $10.6 trillion, and now it's almost $16 trillion. In fact, it will reach $16 trillion this week during the Democratic National Convention. How do you answer to the American people about those numbers?
I answer what I just did. The president inherited an incredible mess, and he's taken us out. Gretchen, if this set collapsed, and you and I were on the ground, do you think somebody should say our hair's messed up? Well, this is, of course, much more serious than that. What they really want to know is, are we doing the work it takes? So what the president did was to walk into a really paralyzed Washington that was gridlocked because of this economy and move forward. And so when you look at, for instance, all the work in the Recovery Act, I see that all the time. I see that in the bridges that have been redone. Of course, in Minnesota, we had that horrible bridge collapse.
Right.
Bridges have been repaired across the country, and that means construction workers who are in a depression are better off.
I think, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, I think a lot of people felt like running on the hope and change mantra, that success would happen in the actual 4 years that the man was president, and that you wouldn't have to look back and blame Bush. Isn't that just an easy out?
Well, look at the hope and change that we've seen. For instance, I think there's been a huge change in what can happen in a financial industry that, frankly, was part of this collapse. I love the fact that there's a watchdog in the government who's part of it. Not stopping business from doing what they should do, but gosh knows there were people trying to game the system. We Americans, do really, really well when we have a level playing field and a fair shake. And that's what the president's been about.
All right. You'll be speaking tomorrow at the DNC. We'll look forward to that. Mayor of Minneapolis, R.T. Rybak. Good to see you.
You too.
Coming up on Fox and Friends, want to live 2 years longer. Who doesn't? Well, there's one simple thing you can do starting today. I want to find out what that is too, Mr. Mayor. Then talk about unfortunate timing, the nation's debt set to hit $16 trillion, as I was just speaking about. This week, in the middle of the DNC, the chairman of the RNC has something to say about that. Reince Priebus, up next.
Mr. Mayor.
You made it from Tampa, huh?
Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you.
This program is brought to you by The Villages, Florida.